Hi guys, Twitch here with my wall paint because we had a Nerf battle with my son this morning. Well, I sat there and got shot. That was my part in it. Anyway, I'm here today because I'm doing another draw liner video for those who saw my other one. This is going to be an updated version with less anxiety. And hopefully this one will be better than the other one, and I'll point out a few other things whilst I'm at it. Sorry, I keep looking away from the camera. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so this is one of my other ones. You would have, for those who saw the other video, they probably recognize this or remember it from the other one. So it's just folded over around the edges and the corners, and it's got a little ribbon installed here so that when it's inside the drawer it can easily be lifted out. So that's the whole point of this. So that's that one, and I'll put that aside. So I'm going to start off with this piece of MDF that I've got here. Tilt the camera up a little bit so you can see better. So I use MDF because I've pretty much always got MDF on hand. So you go with what you've got. If it's easier for you to use something else, then go for it. Some people have done these using Corflute. I'll put a link in the description for Corflute from Bunnings. And they've had success with that, and some people find that easier because you can just cut it with scissors. I just use this because this is what I've got here, and this is what I've used every time, and it always works for me. So for those who want to use this, I also had a few questions about cutting it, so I'm just going to show how I do it. I'm not being overly accurate with this, so I'm just going to, I don't have a pen on me, so I'm going to use the scalpel to score it. I just mark up where I want it to be. Can you see? I don't know if you can. Anyway, I clamp it to my workbench. Again, you don't have to do this. So I clamp it down, and then I just use one of these hand saws from Bunnings. Again, I'll chuck a link in the description. So that's my piece of MDF. I'm just going to grab a piece of sandpaper. So I just use it. This piece of MDF is a little warped, but it's not like I'm actually using it for a set of drawers, so it doesn't really matter. So I've sanded the edges smooth, and what we're going to do next is grab the fabric. So This is just I think it's a placemat. I picked it up really cheap from Best and Less. I was planning on using it for staging, but I don't actually like it for that anymore, so I'm going to use it for this. You're better off using something a bit thicker, like a duck, I think it's called a duck fabric. Something that isn't going to have the glue just go straight through the fabric and look crap. So lay the fabric out. It's really simple. Place your MDF on there, or your Corflute. This part doesn't have to be precise. Just grab your scissors. Just cutting that little banding edge off. I'm going to try not to stop and talk too much whilst I'm doing this, just so you can see how fast this can be to get done. What we're going to do is we're going to, it's probably kind of hard for you to see where it is, but we're going to lay this over the top. I haven't glued it yet because the way doing it this way will be better, especially for larger pieces that you're trying to do, to make sure you get all the edges where you want them. So place it over the top like that. Make sure your edges all have enough overhang, and then what you want to do is find it about halfway and flip it over like this. Then get your glue. I'm using Sally's PVA glue, and I am putting some on there. Don't need a great deal. Brush it on. Again, much like the Corflute, if you want, you don't have to use PVA glue. You could use craft glue, or like others have had success with using spray adhesive. But I'm just using this because this is what I always have on hand, and I prefer this. But you do you. So now that that's on there like that, we're going to lift this side up and push this side down. Then get your iron. I've got it set to about halfway. This isn't a fancy iron. This cost me, I think, $7. So just run the iron over. Forgot my baking paper. So get a sheet of baking paper, place it down on top so that you don't get glue on your iron, and run it over like that. It really doesn't take much. And flip that side back over. See how it's not really pulling. Don't pull it too hard though, because the glue will still be kind of soft. Glue this side. Try and make sure you get it under that edge where it's rolled up. this piece up. Fill it with baking paper again. And do that. Don't worry about if your fabric has wrinkles in it before you start gluing it down, because of course the iron will flatten all of that out and it won't be a problem. This is literally the only time I'll use an iron. We don't iron things in our house. Who else is like that? I know there's people that iron everything, and then there's people that iron nothing. I am one of the people that irons nothing. Make sure you get your edges. Alright, so that's that part done. So that's all glued down, and we're going to flip it over. I'm going to put the baking paper down on here because there's glue on the workbench. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the corners. So don't cut the corner right up against that corner of the MDF, because you want a little bit of it to come over to cover that bit. So I'll show you in a second how I mean. So see how that, where are you? Alright, see how there's a little bit there? That will fold over. If there's too much there, we can come back in and cut that little bit off after. Alright, so this is where you want to work out where your ribbon tab is going to be. So we're going to say that that's the back of the drawer. Make sure you get it around the right way too. So when you're measuring this up inside for the inside of your drawer, mark where the back of your drawer is, and make sure you know which one is the top and bottom surface, because a lot of drawers can be skewed either way, and they won't fit in every direction if you get this around the wrong way. So we're going to say that this is the back of our drawer. So we'll start with this side, and I'll probably have to move the camera for this. So I'll be back. Alright, so I've got my edge, and I've got it sitting on near the edge of the bench, and you'll see why in a sec. So I'm going to put some glue, not on the fabric. I'm going to put glue here. Don't need a lot. And we're going to kind of brush it roughly where the fabric is going to sit, and get that edge. Alright, brush that off, and then we're going to pull that up. I'll hold it like this. I'll hold it over the edge of the bench and get the iron like this. You want to get that edge first and iron that edge on so that you get it nice and tight. And then kind of pull the iron over. Do that. Alright, so now we're going to, we haven't done this side yet. So what we're going to do here is get some ribbon. Doesn't have to be super long. And we'll get a scalpel. And we're going to find roughly the center. And we're going to cut it a bit away. So, I'll hold this up so you can see what I mean. So it's not right on the edge, it's just away from it, so that when it sits over the edge, you've still got that edge covered. So what we're going to do here is work out first of all how you want your ribbon to be folded. So it can just be like this. You can cross it over like that so it's a bit more of a loop, or you can do it like that, so a bit more like a kind of like a awareness ribbon of some variety. I tend to do it like that, or I just cross them over like that. So we're going to do it like that. So first thing we're going to do is put some glue on here. Brush it on. Get that edge. Then we're going to put that ribbon through. So we'll poke it through here. And then we're going to lay the ribbon down. Like that. So it's just sitting there like that now. It's stuck down to the glue that I've already put on there. And then just get your brush that still has a bit of glue on it and dab some more glue on top of the ribbon that's sitting there. And then do the same thing you've done with the other ones. Pull it up, get the edges. And then push it down like the others, and you can just go straight over the top of that ribbon. And there we have it. Simple draw liner. Alright, so that's your draw liner. You could, if you wanted to tidy this up, you could just get some basic paper, like gift wrap or something like that, and cover it with that. Or you could cover it with some more fabric, but you'd still have the frayed edges of the fabric. I've also done this with velvet, or velour, whatever you want to call it, and that turned out nice. The corners were just a little bit too thick for my liking, but they still looked good. You could also do it with, you could cover these with gift wrap, scrapbooking paper, decoupage paper, whatever. So this, using the iron and doing it that way, is pretty much just like the iron-on method for decoupage paper. You probably don't really need to iron it on, but it comes out heaps better if you do. So these are just a good way to finish a piece off really nicely, and it makes it so that you can obviously remove it from the drawer, or the owner can remove it from the drawer, so that they can either give this a good cleaning or clean underneath it, or if they buy it off you and then later on decide that they want to go have a different style, they could always come back to you and say, hey, you made these drawer liners for the set of drawers that I brought off you, do you think you can make a different set for me? Things like that. What else was I going to say? I have seen other people asking if you could like clear coat the fabric, so put some clear coat on it or something like that, or spray it. I personally wouldn't, because I think it would lose that nice tactile finish that it has with it being fabric, and I think it would stiffen it a bit. If you're worried about liquids or anything getting into the fabric and staining it, I'd suggest going and getting some, what's that stuff? Someone help me out here. That spray stuff that you spray on things, you spray it on clothes, and it it repels water. Super helpful, I know. I'll find it and I'll put it in the description. I did have a go with this one at applying waxes. So as you can see, I've drawn lines here and I tested waxes on it. I'll test it again at some point to see if it works. I tried a liquid wax and a solid wax. I'll try that, like I said, I'll try that again at some point, and if that works, I'll, you know, do another thing on that and let you guys know. But yeah, drawer liners. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit subscribe and share and comment and let me know what you thought about this, if you want to see more videos like this. And yeah, thanks for watching.